Okay, when it says F major 7, like this, it also means that you could play the major 6th and the 9th. But it gets too muddy in my opinion, so I think F major 7 makes sense here. And then we come to the G minor 7. For G minor, you could always add the 9th as well. You can use the melody as a guide, because if you look at the melody, so here you actually have the 9th in the melody, so it could be nice to leave that out. Or if you solo you could use that in the solo as well. So I prefer to just use the 7th here as it is. And when it comes to the dominant 7 chords, as we have here, we have the C major 7. We have the C 7 chord here. Then you have a huge variety of options, but I will come to that later, because here we just quickly visit these dominant 7 chords. So the effect of adding more extensions here is smaller compared to when you have a full bar. So here I simply add the 9 because I think that works well. So, but we can get back to when we get to the 14th bar. And otherwise, here we have just F over A, nothing special to say about that, because then we have the A in the bass, and then we have the A flat diminished, nothing to say about that either. And then we have G minor 7 and C7 again. I use the same voicings as before. And for this G minor 7 here, I skip also the 9th because I think it becomes too muddy. Because here we have the melody note so close to the 9th, then it makes it too muddy. And so therefore I just have the 7th here. And we will have the G in the bass, either played by us, or a bass player, or a backup track. And the G minor major 7, cannot really add so much more than that, in my opinion, because it's quite spicy as it is. And here, in this G minor 7 again, I think it's too muddy if you add the 9th. And for the G minor 6th, this is actually the same voicings as the C dominant 7 chord. So it's actually in some versions play a C here instead of a G minor 6th. So here it's quite spicy as it is, with the 6th. And here back to a G minor 7 again, which I think becomes too muddy if we add the 9th. So here we are now at the C7, and here we have a number of options actually. For example, yes, we can add the 9th, we can add the flat 9th, which I eventually shows, because it's quite nice before you resume the melodic phrase. But you could also, especially if you're soloing, you can add the sharp 9th. You could also add the 13th, which is here. It's actually a 6 as well. It's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it also 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's just the 13th move down. And you could also add a flat 13th. Or you could also add the sharp 11th and the 9th and the 13th. So this you can play around with a lot, but I ended up choosing the flat 9th because it's a nice conclusive effect. And here we get to the F7, and as you see, I've chosen the same voicings as for the F minor 7 because I think I like that more. But you could see this like ending the melodic phrase. It's not the end of the song, but there are quite many examples where you actually end the whole song on an F6. But I usually like the major 7th more. But of course it's a matter of taste. But so you can wonder, why didn't I write F major 7 instead of F6 in the letters for the chord? You might be in a field to end it on a 6th instead, depending on how your solo is developing. So just wanted to keep it there, since it's possible to, it should be possible to vary the chords because it's jazz. And of course we could have just written F, because that would have said the same. Then you could play the F6, you could play the F9, you could play the major 7th as well. So we move on. So now we come to a section where we actually have a lot of dominant 7 chords. And here's a good opportunity to use these more spice extensions, if you like. For example, here we have the 7th and we have the 3rd, of course, to define the chord. But we also have added the 13th. But you could also add a 9th. And you can have like the flat 13, if you like, and so on. But I think it's kind of, it really sounds good like this, in my opinion. Sort of, you can save the 9th in the solo, because then we go down to the E flat 7. So here I let the same structure just go down one whole step. So from the F7 down to the E flat 7. So here I also leave out the 9th, but you can add that as well if you like that. And then we go down to the D7, and here you could have chosen to continue the same structure like this. But it gets a little bit too muddy for my taste, and I usually have like a rule to try to place the voicings around this middle C, because now it gets sub middle C if we do the voicing like this. So I like to put here's the 9th. You see we have the 7 and 9. So 1 octave down, 1 octave down, and then we have it flat like this. I think it's, sorry. This G minor 7, I think it works to add the 9th like this. But I like to have the score also a little bit clean. It's easy to, if you want to read it. And you can feel free to add the ninth. And here for the D flat 7, could be possibility to add the 13th as well. Here it is. And then use that when you go down to the C7. So you have the same structure. But here instead use this structure with the ninth just added, apart from the third and the major and the seventh. So go down like that. And then in the end it's pretty much same voices we have used. For the D7 we reach here. You see I have a very simple voicing of just the third and the seventh. Could consider using the flat 9 here, but since I use the flat 9 for the C7 chord coming 2 bars away, I like to save that effect for then. So that's why I just use the 7th here and the 3rd. And then we get to the C7. I use the flat 9 there instead. And then we're off. So, good luck soloing.